The 2019 Audi e-tron is the anti-Tesla EV. In the e-tron, there are no Spaceballs Easter eggs or accompanying ludicrous acceleration. The Audi's front motor puts out 168 horsepower and 182 pounds-to-foot of torque, while the rear contributes another 188 ponies and 232 pounds-to-foot. It won't leave you breathless, but the e-tron takes off with the authority and immediacy we've come to expect from electric cars. Moving the gear selector from drive to sport increases output of the front motor by 13 horsepower and 46 pounds-to-foot, with the rear unit adding 33 ponies and 30 pounds-to-foot to its total, but only for 8-second stints. Push through the kickdown detent at the bottom of the accelerator to access that power, and the so-called boost mode is said to trim almost a full second from the 0 to 60 mph run. We predict a 5.6-second dash to 60 mph for the 5,500-pound e-tron in this mode, quick, but not radically so. In the tradition of Audi's internal combustion models, the e-tron's cabin is wonderfully serene at speed. As wide, flat, and empty as the desert that they cut through, the highways surrounding Abu Dhabi offer speed limits that occasionally stretch beyond 87 mph to 99 mph even at those velocities, and by the standards established by earlier revs, the e-tron is a tune. An acoustically insulating windshield and side glass and extensive underbody insulation block the din of wind and road noise that would otherwise fill the acoustic void created by the absence of an internal combustion engine. More impressive, Audi has all but eliminated the high-frequency whine that's common in EVs during acceleration. The e-tron's motors are encapsulated inside polyurethane boxes and mounted to the subframes through rubber bushings. The rear subframe is also rubber isolated from the body structure, to isolate noise and vibration. The cabin is also a modern, high-tech wonder. With the same MMI touch response system used in the Q8 and Audi's large cars, a pair of pressure-sensitive haptic feedback touchscreens control nearly everything outside of steering, braking, and accelerating. The digital instrument cluster can be filled with Google Earth navigation. Because the e-tron falls between a Q5 and a Q7 in exterior length, it offers ample rear seat space for 2 adults to comfortably outlast the battery's range. At the time of our test drive, Audi would say only that the e-tron will exceed 248 miles of range on Europe's optimistic WLTP test. Engineers and marketers wouldn't speculate on a US EPA estimate, but that won't stop us from doing so. Consider the Jaguar I-Pace, an architecturally similar vehicle with front and rear motors totaling 394 horsepower and a 90.0 kWh battery built from lithium-ion cells supplied by LG Chem, the same supplier Audi uses. Jag's I-Pace rates at 234 miles by EPA methodology and 292 miles on the WLTP cycle. Applying a similar percentage loss for the e-tron and assuming Audi doesn't drastically overshoot its 248-mile WLTP promise, we expect an EPA range slightly above 200 miles, a relatively small number considering the big battery pack. What gives? For one, Audi uses just 81.0 kWh of the e-tron's 95.0 kWh capacity. Every automaker leaves a buffer to protect the longevity of the pack, but Audi appears characteristically conservative here. Jaguar pushes its smaller battery harder, using 84.7 kWh of the I-Pace's 90.0 kWh capacity. Then there's the question of efficiency, an advanced calculus of aerodynamic drag, friction, and losses via the electronics and battery management system. Like the I-Pace before it, we anticipate, the e-tron's EPA range will add to the evidence that, underneath the hype, Tesla actually does hold a technical advantage in stretching more miles from its electrons. The Model X100D, which is larger and heavier than the e-tron, extracts 295 miles of EPA range from its 100.0 kWh pack.